Dear guests, welcome to the 24th meeting of the Nobel Laureates and talented students of the National Academy of Sciences Education. This year, we are joined by very special guests. First of all, we are deeply honored to extend a warm welcome to the President of Hungary, Tamás Súlyog, and the First Lady of Hungary, Zsuzsa Nagy. Their presence here tonight is a testament to their commitment to science, education, and the advancement of young talent. It is our great honor to invite President Tamás Súlyog to the stage. Mr. President, we are truly privileged to have you with us this evening. The stage is yours.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear awardees, Hungarian scientists are greatly valued by the people of our country. Perhaps I can also say that they are our national treasures who have enriched our country and at the same time also contributed to the universal knowledge and heritage of mankind. They are our pride and joy, as they have created something eternal and lasting for the whole world. Today here, we have witnessed excellent examples of how through dedicated work and determination and by overcoming difficulties we can discover and create new things that make people's lives better. The name of the Talentum Prize itself clearly shows our expectations of those who have truly deserved this prize. These young people first just carried to promise. They had the potential and the talent. It was up to them how they will fulfill their potential. And finally, they have delivered. They have become the best in their field and have made us proud of their success. Dear awardees, Hungarian science has earned respect in the world because fantastic people and brilliant minds have dedicated their lives to bring out the best in themselves, and by doing so, they have enriched all of us, our nation, and the whole world. I would like to thank you for your commitment and determination and for setting an excellent example for the young generation. My heartfelt congratulations on winning the Talentum Award. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your inspiring words. And now, let's welcome our international guests. Sir Richard Timothy Hunt, a British biochemist and Nobel laureate who was awarded the 2001 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for his groundbreaking discovery of the key regulators of the cell cycle. Next, please welcome Professor Joachim Frank and his wife, a German-American biophysicist and Nobel laureate, who was awarded the 2017 Nobel Prize in Chemistry for developing cryo-electron microscopy for the high-resolution structure determination of biomolecules in solution. Professor Dan Shechtman is an Israeli scientist and materials engineer, best known for his discovery of quasi-crystals, a finding that challenged long-held beliefs in crystallography and earned him the 2011 Nobel Prize in Chemistry. We are also honored to welcome Professor Dennis Sloan. He is a Hong Kong-based molecular biologist, Vice Chancellor, and President of the Chinese University of Hong Kong. He received the Lasker Prize in 2022 for the detection of cell-free DNA in blood plasma, and he is best known for his contribution to the development of non-invasive prenatal testing. And last but not least, let me introduce Professor David Weinberg, Chair of the Department of Medicine at the Fox Chase Cancer Center in Philadelphia. He is an esteemed American physician scientist and chief editor of the most prestigious journal in the field of the digestive system, Gastroenterology. And with equal joy and admiration, we warmly welcome Professor Eva Kondoroshi, plant biologist, recipient of the Balzan Prize, and chair of the Life Sciences section at the Academia Europaea, the most prestigious academic institution in Europe. All these highly acclaimed scientists of international renown have immensely furthered the world of science. We are grateful to have them among us tonight. Dear professors, thank you for joining us and for participating in this extraordinary occasion. Once again, please extend a big round of applause for our distinguished guests. As we celebrate scientific excellence and the next generation of researchers, it is also important to pay tribute to the legacy that inspires our mission. Our foundation was established in 2012 to commemorate the 75th anniversary of Albert Szent-György's Nobel Prize. Over 1,000 participants gathered in Szeged at that time to honor the legacy of Szeged's former Nobel Prize winner, Albert Szent-Györgyi. He received the most prestigious scientific award in 1937 and remains the only Hungarian to have won it for research conducted in Hungary. The foundation aims to inspire young people to pursue careers in science and increase the number of high school students choosing biomedical sciences. We are confident that the graduates of these programs will contribute significantly to expanding Hungary's research capacity and advancing patient care. In line with Albert Szent-Györgyi's vision, the foundation endeavors to merge science with culture. At our events, we always incorporate a cultural element for the enjoyment of our guests. Tonight, we are delighted to present the Duna Arts Ensemble, consisting of professional folk dancers and instrumentalists dedicated to preserving and promoting traditional dance. The ensemble considers it a priority to arouse interest in folk dance among a wide range of audiences and to break down stereotypes about the genre. Their production, entitled Fathers and Sons, a dance performance based on the collections of Albert Nagy, explored the themes of tradition and transmission through the intellectual bond between fathers and sons. The performance is the first in a series of tributes to renowned folk dance collectors. It honors the legacy of Albert Nagy, whose influential collections serve as the foundation for both choreography and music. In the performance, excerpts from Ferenc Kölcsei's Perennisis to Kálmán Kölcsei will be quoted by Ödön Rubold, Jászai Mari Prize-winning actor, artist of merit, and Máté Orosz, a student of the Haidu Dance Ensemble from Debrecen. The act is performed by the Duna Arts Ensemble Dance Group and the Guntel Orchestra. It is directed and choreographed by Zsolt Juhász, student of Albert Nagy.
A szegedi alastó, alastó, belé estem kocsistól, elovastó. Vártam babám, kivesz ki, kivesz ki. Lesz-e hozzám jó szívű valaki? A szegedi kanál is a kanáli, elhagyott a babám is, a babám is. Ha elhagyott, te hagyjon is, hagyjon is. Megélek én magam is, a magam is. Ha elhagyott, te hagyjon is, hagyjon is. Megélek én magam is, a magam is.
Az, ki életében sokat érzett és gondolkozott, és érzeményét és gondolatait nyom nélkül elröppenni nem hagyta, oly kincset gyűjthetett magának, mely az élet minden szakában, a szerencse minden változásai közt gazdag táplálatot nyújt lelkének. Sok szépet írának a bölcsek, gazdag forrást nyitának fel, honnan jó sorsban intést, balban vigasztalást, mindkettőben magasra emelkedést, szív- és észnemesülést meríthetünk, de azok is csak úgy hatnak ránk, ha érzés és gondolkodás által sajátunkká tevünk. Törekedjél ismeretekre. Ismeretekre, melyek ítélet s ízlés által vezéreltetnek. S hogy ismereteid mind magadra, mind másokra jól tevőleg hassanak, hosszú, fáradalmas munkára kell elszánva lenned, mert alapos, egyszerűen, mint sokoldalú tudományt szerezni, felette nehéz. Sok olvasás, még több gondolkozás. Sok egybehasonlítás, még több gyakorlás, s fogyhatatlan béketűrés és állandóság az, ami itt megkívántatik. Ismerni a jót könnyebb, mint követni. Sőt, még az sem nehéz, ha némelykor jó vagy éppen nemes tettet vigyünk véghez. De egész életedet meghatározott elv szerint intézve, sohasem tenni mást, mint amit az erkölcsiség kíván, még akkor sem, midőn haszon, bátor lét, indulatheve, vagy szenvedelem ereje másfelé ragad, ezt hívják erénynek. Szeresd a hazát. A hazaszeretet egyike a kebel tiszteletre legméltóbb szenvedelmeinek. Tudd meg, e szóban haza foglaltatik az emberi szeretet és óhajtás tárgyainak egész összessége. Oltár, atyáid által Istennek építve. Ház, hol az élet első örömeit ízleléd. Föld, melynek gyümölcse feltáplált. Szülőid, hitvesed, gyermekeid, barátid, rokonaid, polgártársaid. Az ember egyedül gondolva nem több a magányos vadállatnál. Emberi ész és erő csak társaságban fejlik ki. Ezért kell minden művelt embernek a hazát legfőbb gondjává tennie.
Anyám, ha megmondtál tartani, vigyél engem a vásárba eladni, adjál oda a legelső kérőmnek,
fáradj a hazáért, és ne temm magadért, így nem leszen okot panaszkodni. Ki magáért fárad, gyakran csalatkozik. Ki lelke erejét hazájának szenteli, annak tettei előbb-utóbb sikerrel koronáztatnak meg. Hírt és dicsőséget vadászni hiúság. A való nagyságnak éppen úgy következése a dicsőség, mint jámbor életnek a becsület. Óvd magad annak látszani, ami nem vagy. Törekedjél való nagyságra, ha magadban erőt érzesz, de szillet nagyságot mutogatni gyalázatnak tartsd.
Szabad madár vagy te, babám, szabad madár vagy te, babám, mégis oly ritkán jársz hozzám, mégis oly ritkán jársz hozzám, csuholja. De ha én szabad madár volnék, ha én szabad madár volnék, éjjel-nappal nálad volnék, éjjel-nappal nálad volnék, csuholja. Szabad madár nem lehetek, szabad madár nem lehetek, hozzád rózsám nem mehetek, hozzád rózsám nem mehetek, csuholja.
Imádd az istenséget. Semmi sincs, ami az emberi szívet annyira felemelhetné, következőleg az élet mindennapi jeleneteiben, és a szenvedélyek és indulatok örök ostromában hozzáragadt szennytől annyira megtisztíthatná, mint az istenség nagy gondolatával foglalatoskodás. Akármerre veted, nem érdek mindenségben tekinteteidet, mindenfelől egy végetlenül bölcs, nagy és jó, de egyszer mint megfoghatatlan lény jelenségei sugárzanak felé. erős kötelességektől mikre átháromlanak, tehetséget kicsiny voltának színe alatt magad felmenthetnéd. Lángelő kevésnek adatik, azonban minden egészséges lélek, hosszú szorgalom által, más tudományát, tapasztalását, példáját magáévá teheti, helyesen ítélni, és pontosan egybehasonlítani megtanulhat, és vizsgálat gyakorlatnál fogva a teremtő lelkét, ha el nem érheti, hozzája legalább közelíthet. Többször mondám, az élet fő célja tett. És tenni, magában vagy másokkal együtt, senkinek nem lehetetlen. Tehát tégy, és tégy minden jót, amit tőled telik, és mindenütt, ahol alkalom nyílik. És hogy minél nagyobb sikerrel tehess lelkedet, eszközökkel gazdagítani, szüntelen igyekezzél. egyetemes formák sem egyes emberre, sem egész nemzetre állandóul nem alkalmaztathatnak. Az ember és az emberiség korához, helyzetéhez képest időről időre más-más testi és szellemi alakot vált. Ezen alakváltások észrevétve jönnek, és csak akkor rohannak zajogva, ha véletlen akadály vettetik ellenükbe. Azonban ne hidd, mintha elhárító eszközöket találni nem lehetne. Ki tiszta pillanattal önkeblébe tekinteni megszokott, ki előtt lelkének minden mozdulati lepletlen állanak, annak csak akarat kell, hogy magát saját hatalmában mindig megtartsa, és lélek alakot önmaga formáljon magának. Így férfi felülemelheti magát a századon, és annak alakváltozásaira hatalmas befolyással munkálhat.
brilliant performance, I invite Tamás Súlyog, the President of Hungary, alongside with Nobel Laureates Tim Hunt, Joachim Frank, Dan Shechtman, and on behalf of the National Biomedical Foundation, András Varó. They will now present the Foundation Certificate of Appreciation to the artists. Joachim, the artistic director and choreographer of the Duna Art Ensemble. Award, actor and performer at the Duna Art Ensemble. Zoltán Dulai, orchestra leader of the Duna Art Ensemble. Sylvia Baba, executive director of the Duna Art Ensemble. The title of the choreography, Fathers and Sons, perfectly reflects the spirit of the next two certificate presentations. May I kindly ask dancers Péter Hegyi and András Hegyi, father and son, to come forward. Outstanding performance. As we continue this evening of celebration, we now turn to one of the most anticipated moments of our gala, The highlight of our annual event is the presentation of the prestigious Seigneur du Talent Award. In 2013, the Foundation for the Future of Biomedical Sciences in Szeged established the Seigneur du Talent Award. Inspired by Albert Seigneur-Du's legacy, the award was meant to recognize groundbreaking discoveries linked to research conducted in Szeged. Modeled after the Nobel Prize, it is granted for a once-in-a-lifetime scientific achievement. With the establishment of the National Academy of Sciences Education, this prestigious recognition has expanded beyond Szeged to include outstanding research conducted in our scientific partner institutions in Budapest, Debrecen, and Pécs. The award winners are selected by the Board of Trustees of the National Biomedical Foundation. This year's winners are Valéria Tékus, Research Associate Professor at the Department of Pharmacology and Pharmacotherapy at the University of Pécs, and Zsuzsanna Helyes, full professor and outstanding researcher of the University of Pécs, for identifying specific neuroinflammatory pathways as potential drug targets. I would like to ask Valéria Tékus and Zsuzsanna Helyes to come on stage to accept their award. Professor and Clinic Director of the Department of Medicine at the University of Debrecen, for uncovering hydrogen sulfide's role in regulating valvular cell calcification in aortic valve disease. I would like to ask József Balla to come on stage to accept his award. Senior Research Fellow at the Hunren Biological Research Center, Szeged, for developing flexible microrobots for optical trapping and 3D single-cell interaction studies. I would like to ask Laurent Kellerman to come on stage to accept his award. And last but not least, Balázs Györfi, Head of Department of Bioinformatics at Semmelweis University, for developing an integrated transcriptomic database to identify prognostic biomarkers and therapeutic targets in colorectal cancer. I would like to ask Balázs Györfi to come on stage to accept his award. Now, I'd like to ask our awardees and guests on stage to gather for a photo. I now invite Zsuzsanna Helyes to make an acceptance speech on behalf of the recipients.
Dear esteemed guests, dear colleagues, dear students, pupils, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all overdees, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to the Board of Trustees of the National Biomedical Foundation for giving us this very prestigious award. Of course, we are not working because of wanting to get awards, but we work because research and science are our passion. Being a scientist is not just a career or a profession, it is a motivation and passion and the kind of lifestyle that we live and the kind of journey that we travel on. As my mentor, Professor Szolcsányi, told us, there is no wrong experiment. There are no spoiled experiments. All experiments are great, even if the results are not in correlation with what we expect, and even if they are absolutely in contradiction with our hypothesis. If the experiments are technically valid, we have to believe it and we have to explain what the results give us. I also want to thank our teams because research is not an individual issue, it's not an individual journey, it is always a teamwork. And I would like to thank all the colleagues and mentors and also students and even technicians who worked on these projects. This is a very great award. There are many good scientists in Hungary, there are many good papers in Hungary, and we are very grateful that the Board of Trustees thought that this year we deserve this very prestigious prize. And my take-home message to you, young scientists, next generation researchers, is that always believe what you get in your experiments and have the passion to try to find the answers for what you get. Never give up, even if there are obstacles in your journey, and always want to know what is not yet known. I wish you all a very successful career, and I hope you will get as much joy in your future research projects as much as we have, and we hopefully will have in the future as well. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Gala event of the 24th meeting of Nobel Laureates and talented students has now come to a close. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. We hope you enjoyed the event, and we look forward to seeing you at the gala dinner. We await the attendees from the secondary school program with a dinner in the neighboring Tisza Hotel. We wish you a productive and inspiring conference tomorrow and a safe journey home. Enjoy your meal and the rest of your evening.